Loretta Simonet is a fiscal year 2024 recipient of a Creative Individuals Grant from the Minnesota State Arts Board. This activity is made possible by the voters of Minnesota, and that would be you, through a grant from the Minnesota State Arts Board, thanks to a legislative appropriation from the Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund. Join me in welcoming Curtis and Loretta.
Thank you. Thank you, Carolyn. All right.
Yeah, wow, this is great. Yeah, I'll start with one of your songs. Just a beautiful harp song that Loretta wrote. Most people don't sing with their harps. It's very uncommon. Yeah, but she does. This is called Lift the World. I think it's time to lift the world almost.
And we'll talk about the instruments as we go along, but right off the bat we'll have a song. Lift the world. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. I might just wake up someday and see the guitar that I play. But when the day is all through, nothing more that I can do. One thing I have learned is true, I turn, and there it's always you. You lift the world from my shoulders, spin it, gently turn it over. You set it down out of the way, just like a dream. The world fades away, just like a dream. The world fades away. I may travel near and far, sail the seas to Zanzibar. I might just walk out the door and be content in my backyard. When the miles are said and done, when the race is all run, I meet you in the setting sun, and from there we walk as one. You lift the world from my shoulders, spin it, gently turn it over. You set it down out of the way, just like a dream. The world fades away, just like a dream. The world fades away. Trials may come to torment me, break right in without a key. They may all demand to be my eternal destiny. But when the worries and the cares get too much for me to bear, you look each one in the eyes just like that. You cut them down to size. You lift the world from my shoulders, spin it, gently turn it over. You set it down out of the way, just like a dream. The world fades away, just like a dream. The world fades away, just like a dream. The world fades away, just like a dream. The world fades away.
Okay, so Loretta had this great idea. One of our albums is ballads about unsung heroes. You know, we travel all over the country. We play in almost every state. We play in a lot of very small towns, which I think is, we just love them. We love to play there, you know. And you watch the news, you watch television, you think, the whole world's going somewhere in a handbasket,
The wrong way. It's just-
But that when you travel around and you play a song that reminds somebody of something, the power of this art of song, they'll come up, you begin to realize, when people tell you about people that live in their town, you realize that actually we are surrounded by absolutely amazing human beings. And you never hear about them, so nowadays with all the media and all the, internet and all that stuff, they don't make it there, but they have a very powerful place in the love of a small town or a big city.
Anywhere. There's wonderful
So she
people
decided, to go.
everywhere. So I found, and actually this was a different grant I got from the State Arts Board a few years ago, to interview 12 different people that have gone through big challenges in their lives and come out stronger for it. And so this one is actually about my parents. It's a love song about my parents.
And the thing I love about ballads is they're very open to interpretation. They are. Now, for her, this is a love song about her parents. For me, I heard it, and I thought, well, this is a song about scandalous marriage.
Well, it was 1947, and there was some scandal in there.
Oh yeah, we go through all these things. There's always Romeo and Juliet, interracial marriage in the '60s, what we have now, whatever. Beyond that, the 1940s, brace yourselves. In the 1940s, a Catholic married a Lutheran.
You may remember, it was a big deal, even up to the 70s.
It was a mixed marriage.
It was a mixed marriage, and besides the religion difference, my mom was only 21, and my dad was just back from World War II. He was 38, and besides that, she had no money. She had just moved into Stillwater from the farm with no money, and
she lived in Scandia, Minnesota.
Yes.
He was from Big Stillwater.
Yes, and so he had a little bit of money because he'd had a business before the war. So there's all these differences, and some people said, oh, that'll never work. All that stuff, no way. Especially my mother's mother was really against it, but they ignored all those comments and went ahead and got married, and I'm glad they did, because here I am.
Me too. They were wonderful people, but that was a big deal. And she didn't even have plumbing growing up,
No, my mother didn't.
Most small towns didn't until after World War II. People forget that.
Well, rural areas, yeah, because she grew up in the
People were
farm.
saying she's just marrying that old guy for his plumbing, too.
Because in Stillwater they had plumbing, yeah, but out in the farm they didn't get it till after World War II.
So we will have the ballad of Mildred and Cletus.
Cletus. This is called On the Day They Said I Do. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Brick house with plumbing too. His family had it built brand new. Catholic college businessman, and everywhere gentleman. He crossed the sea in 44, courtesy of the World War. Swedish girl with quite a charm. She was born up on the farm. Light brown hair and eyes of blue. Sang in the Lutheran choir too. She filled the lamps with kerosene, milked the cows, cooked and cleaned. She worked the fields and dreamed of more. Some said yes, some said no. She's too young, he's too old. City boy and country girl, different churches, different worlds. But on the day they said I do, they only heard, I love you. Near Thanksgiving 45, he came home, thankfully was alive. His 5 and dime closed by the war, so he worked at a Reed's drugstore. She moved to town in the spring. The hospital had an opening for a room and board and a little more. She passed trays upon the floor. stole a glance back his way. He was standing in the door to see where she was headed for. She looked down and walked away, but they knew it was their first day. Some said yes, some said no. She's too young, he's too old. City boy and country girl, different churches, different world. But on the day they said I do, they only heard I love you. She was in the Grand Cafe when he came in one autumn day. They shared a booth, brown eyes and blue. Then he walked her back to the hospital. He took her to the matinee the very next Saturday. Suit and tie, yellow dress, they both wore their very best. Christmas Eve in gentle snow, he showed up laughing, ho ho ho. Bottle of perfume in hand, would she take him as a man? On a cold and wintry day, the sun shone on their wedding day. For 50 years through thick and thin, they shared a path till God called him. Some said yes, some said no. She's too young, he's too old. City boy and country girl, different churches, different world. But on the day they said I do, they heard I love you. I love you. I love you.
I love you.
Thank you. Thanks. I want to just say really quickly
I want to say something too.
Yeah, well, you always do, so you'll get your turn. This is a Celtic harp that I'm playing, the type of harp they play in Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. So a little shorter than the big concert harp you'd see in the orchestra. It's got 36 strings, and the big concert harps usually have 47. And the other difference is it doesn't have pedals. If you've ever seen the big ones, they have pedals on the bottom to change the key you're playing in. And instead of that, I'm flipping these levers here to get in different keys. So that's a little harp lesson. And what is that you're playing, Curtis? Or do you want to talk about it later?
No. Hey, do we have any guitar players here? Any? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, this is a mandocello. You probably heard of the Gibson Guitar Company. Have you heard of the Gibson Guitar? Well, this was made in 1912 by the Gibson Mandolin Company. Same company. They just call it the Gibson Guitar Mandolin Company. Back then it was the Mandolin Guitar Company. But this is a mandocello. Little mandolins are tuned like violins. They all correspond to the violin family. They had orchestras, mandolin orchestras. So this is tuned like a cello.
Like a gold cello.
So it has great gold strings on it. And
Very cool.
so, well, I got to do this. So I mean, we have never been political. Some people, folk musicians, are very political, you know. And especially right now, I think is the time to avoid that. However, however, you know, we spent a lot of time auditioning political songs in hopes that somewhere in the centuries we could find a bipartisan.
Political
Remember that
song.
word? That's a
Remember
very important
bipartisan?
word.
Yeah.
Bipartisan political song, and it just so happens. Anybody ever been to Hutchinson, Minnesota?
I bet they have.
Did you know that that was founded by some of the most famous musicians in the United States?
They knew. See, they knew.
The Hutchinsons, the singing Swiss families were a big deal back then. And this happens to be written by Jesse Hutchinson Jr. You may have heard this song. It was Abraham Lincoln's campaign song in 1860, so we'll play it for you. And we play this in every kind of town and every color of state, you know, and everybody seems to agree on this, so we love it. Hurrah for the joys of the nation, our heroes so brave and so true. We'll go for the great Reformation, for Lincoln and liberty too. We'll go for the son of Kentucky, the hero of Hoosier the pride of the suckers so lucky, for Lincoln and liberty too. We'll find what by felling and mauling our railmaker statesmen can do. For the people are everywhere calling for Lincoln and liberty too. And up with our banners so glorious, the stars spangled red, white, and blue. We'll fight till our banner's victorious, for Lincoln and liberty too. Our David's good sling is unmarried, the slave-oppressed giant he slew. We'll shout for the freedom, preferring for Lincoln and liberty too. We'll go for the son of Kentucky, the hero of Hoosier and few. The pride of the suckers so lucky, for Lincoln and liberty too. And up with our banners so glorious, the stars spangled red, white, and blue. We'll fight till our banner's victorious, for Lincoln and liberty too. For Lincoln and liberty too. Lincoln and liberty. Jesse Hutchinson Jr.
He said it too. That's an old traditional melody you might have recognized, called Rosin the Bow, but
Now,
not the words.
We've come to the point in the folk music concert that is extremely important. And we're counting on you. It is our obligation as folk musicians to get you to sing along on at least one song.
And this is
there are many different old, techniques to get people to sing along, but this is a new one that came with a song that Loretta wrote. If you sing along on this song, it will be like receiving a free medical procedure.
Right here at the Dassel History Center. They didn't expect that, but you're going to have to tell them which procedure, and nobody is going to sign up for this.
Well,
Tell us.
knee replacement. No,
You're going to need a microphone replacement.
no it's this deal. Of course, it's very expensive, obviously, but you come into a room with people you know, maybe know a little bit or don't know at all, and you sit there, and everyone complains from the depths of their being until after many expensive sessions, you realize what you're complaining about is likely, to a large extent, your own fault.
Yeah.
And there is a name for this procedure.
There is. I know it. I've been there. It's called group therapy. So we're going to do that right here.
And all you have to do is sing along, and you will be much more cured than when you came.
If you need curing, then maybe you don't need it. But it always makes us feel better. So we're going to teach you your part.
Yeah, now we go through the folk process. We teach you your part. You have to memorize it, and then sing it along with us.
All right, so we'll sing it for you, and then we'll practice. But you'll get it.
Memorize this, okay? Here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4. Na 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 na. Gotta do this part too.
Oh, you can do antelope, or you can do,
Moose,
whatever. Yeah, anything you like. Okay.
Rabbits.
But, all right, you got it?
All right, let's practice.
All right, let's find out if you've got it, okay?
After 4, okay? I'm going to count to 4, start after 4, here's our note.
If you're bashful, close your eyes. I do that in every session. Here we go. Ready?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, you guys are ringers.
You're a good sport.
We're going to have to buy a bus and take this to Branson, I tell you.
Yeah, big bus.
Do we have any attorneys in the audience? Do we have incognito lawyers?
Lawyers.
Well, this is called Somebody I Could Sue, anyway. It may be illegal for us to dispense medical procedures without a license, I don't know. But
We asked that at a show not too long ago, and there was a woman in the audience who was a lawyer, and she said, well, it depends. It might be illegal, it might
well,
not.
you know,
No, yes or no.
I always toss them a dime and tell them I'm on retainer, you know.
Anyway, here you go. I'll point at you when it's your turn. Join in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Janie did it, don't blame me. I went out when I was 3. I would play, she'd call me quitter. Because the man I had a hitter. This happens every single time. They should arrest you for this crime. You buy a gallon of ice cream, and that needle down my thighs would scream. When you got no one to blame but yourself. Oh, you sure like to pin it on somebody else. There must be somebody I could sue. Somebody I could pass this buck. You passed me going way too fast. Cut me off so I get the gas. I stuck to him close as I could. He slowed down and smashed my hood. It's not my fault, don't look at me. What a stupid place to plant a tree. Just back up, what can I say? It was standing right there in my way. When you got no one to blame but yourself. Oh, you sure like to pin it on somebody else. There must be somebody I could sue. Somebody I could pass this buck. You do this to me all the time. Don't get your way and then you whine. So I get mad, no time for days. I'll show you, I'll make you pay. Why won't you just end this fight? Do it my way, do it right. You never listen to a word. I have the others to be heard. When you got no one to blame but yourself. Oh, you'd sure like to pin it on somebody else. There must be somebody I could sue. Somebody I could pass this buck. Call my lawyer, life's not fair. Where's my success? Where's my share? Stuck down in this endless rut. Because no one will pick me up. The world's got it in for me. I burned myself in hot coffee. Lost my cash and Powerball. How come you never know? When you got no one to blame but yourself. Oh, you sure like to pin it on somebody else. There must be somebody I could sue. Somebody I could pass this buck. Somebody I could pass this buck. Oh, you're good sport. Thank you. Yeah, let's do turn.
Okay.
Let's do the one on the list.
Well, now we take it to the real sing-along. Ha ha ha.
This is one you might even know.
Let's see.
If you're of a certain age, and well, because I remember when this first came out, it was on the top of the hit parade, 1965. Turn, turn, turn. Everything is. There was a season. It was a big hit by the Byrds, but actually Pete Seeger wrote it. One of our
Well, it was
heroes.
co-written actually by Pete Seeger and King Solomon.
That's right, because Pete took most of the words from the Bible, Book of Ecclesiastes.
Songs, yes. Give me just a moment. I'm doing this because it's from the Bible. And because I like you.
Otherwise you wouldn't get to. I got all my levers in the right place, I think. have Curtis give a little introduction, and then we'll sing it. Be sure to join in if you know it. Such a beautiful song. You know what? Somebody didn't dust this harp because I hope you can't see it in the light. Like, whoa. I think that was your job to dust this harp, Curtis.
Give me a C on that thing.
I can't because I've got them sharp. I could.
Oh, this is in
It's in the key of A.
key name.
He's playing some other key. Should always play in the same key. It's much more professional. Do we have any other harp players? We played over at Lakeside, the Care Center, and there was a woman that played harp. I mean, she wasn't playing that, but she came to see us, and she was there visiting some family.
I think she actually works there now.
Was she? I didn't know. But anyway, that was really cool.
You actually said you want me to give an introduction to this?
No, not talking. Not talking. Playing. You're going to play something.
Okay.
We already gave the introduction talking. Now you play your little
Turn.
Here you go.
To everything, turn. There is a season, turn. I am a time to every verse under heaven.
Time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a time to weep.
To everything, turn. There is a season, turn. And a time to every verse under heaven. A time to build up, a time to break down, a time to dance, a time to mourn, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together. To everything, turn. There is a season, turn. And a time to every verse under heaven.
A time of love, a time of peace, a time of war, a time of peace, a time we may embrace, a time to refrain from embracing.
To everything, turn. There is a season, turn. And a time to every verse under heaven. A time to gain, a time to lose, a time to rend, a time to sow, a time of love, a time of hate, a time for peace. I swear it's not too late. One more time, everybody. To everything, turn. There is a season, turn. And a time to every verse under heaven. And a time to every verse under heaven.
Very nice. Pete would have been proud. All right, we're going to switch instruments. Now, you probably wonder who the third person is in the band. Well, Curtis is like the centerpiece, and I play harp over here, and then I just walk over there and play guitar. He likes to stay right there in the middle. So I'm going to switch to guitar.
Yes, indeed. And we have CDs. We lowered the price of them a couple of years ago. And, because they really weren't selling anymore. And we thought, and then all of a sudden people started buying them again, $10, Usually they always were 15. And we thought this was a radical marketing concept that would sweep the nation. But it didn't.
Oh, lowering prices, yeah.
Yeah.
You remember CDs, if there's round things, if you have a machine, you can put them in there and it plays music for you.
But I was
Young people are like, what is that? Anyway.
Yeah. If you had some of our earlier CDs, you would, I think we only recorded one of them, but I used to write these really mushy love songs. I'd be, for Loretta, I would be absolutely embarrassed to even
He doesn't sing them anymore.
even just say the words in public. But she did write me a love song, just like a few years ago. Like it took her like 40 years to get around to writing me a love
How to
song.
get just the right words, Curtis. So this is one I wrote for Curtis.
This is a good time to read this. This is in C3, okay. Well, so it's called Santa Claus on Halloween. I have to ask you, do we have any thrift store treasure hunters in here? Any? Oh man, I tell you, I found things worth many, many thousands of dollars. But I was almost born in a Goodwill, but that's a different story. And my mom barely got out and got to the hospital. But it's true, actually.
True story.
But
She was dedicated.
but so anyway, you know, right around Halloween is a great time to go because they save all these really, you know, bright clothes. I mean, I think the concept is you're supposed to like create your own personalized Halloween costume. Now I find things that I just like to wear all the time, you know. But one year I found a professional, big department store, antique Santa Claus outfit. I mean, it was the real deal. It was beautiful, real, you know. Anyway, so we live in northeast Minneapolis, and we have a little Victorian house. 2 sets of steps coming up to our door. So on Halloween night, I got out my biggest stuffed chair. I put all my candy in a white canvas laundry bag, and I sat there with my Santa Claus outfit on, and these little kids would run up that first set of steps with their buckets and their bags straight out, you know, and they looked up and they saw me, and their eyes would get really big and their jaws would drop, you know, and they proceeded up that second set of steps with like absolute awe and reverence, you know, they really did, and they would come into my presence, you know, and before they could say trick or treat, I said, "Have you been good this year?" And they were in shock. Every one of them had told the truth. They said, "Not always." And I said, "You know, the truth is worth a whole handful of candy every time." And so then she wrote me this song.
I have to say the teenagers were not so impressed. They thought he was.
Oh, they were impressed, but they just not the same way.
He had a problem or something.
Yeah. I knew I was going to find the time to put that cup down.
He got rid of that Santa Claus outfit. He didn't wear it last night.
Oh man,
he didn't wear it.
we do. In our youth, we dress Victorian and do a Victorian Christmas show with mandocello and all these old instruments, and we have done 3 or 4 every day in December.
It's like an hour long, and
I mean,
we just drive
that's
all
like
over the Twin Cities.
100 shows in 1 month, you know, and so I was already, you know, we're already doing that. We've kind of cut down now, 1 or 2 shows a day we're going to do, but. What was I going to say?
That's why you don't want him dressed up as Santa Claus.
We used to do balls, and do you know why some of those guys get paid like thousands of dollars, you know, to be Santa Claus? And she was starting to cook brownies and cookies, and she was feeding them to me.
Gotta fatten him up a little bit.
And I realized she was going to rip me to a mall, sure thing. So there was an art
Center in St. James.
St. James, and I'd heard, a friend of ours runs it, and I'd heard they needed a Santa Claus outfit. Man, I stuck that sucker in a box and shipped it right down there. Yeah. But this is called Santa Claus on Halloween.
You get one more chance.
One more chance.
Hold the chicken, hold the meat, just serve him up whole wheat. Never try to trim his beard, scissors are his only fear. He waits on me like I'm a queen. He's Santa Claus on Halloween, he's one of a kind. That boy of mine. The world owes Santa's from all sun, but he stands strong, listening inside. He likes love and honesty. He'll stand by you, he'll stand by me. He's one of a kind, that boy of mine. They keep their ivy homes and the mega shopping malls. The joint store is his favorite place. Hawaiian shirts and a tweed suitcase. He doesn't own a suit or tie except one from 1895. He's one of a kind, that boy of mine. The world pulls at us from all sides, but he stands strong, listening inside. He likes love and honesty. He'll stand by you, he'll stand by me. He's one of a kind, that boy of mine. Take it there, boy. He doesn't text, but he is wise. He hates long goodbyes. He likes when you say what you mean, and he'll chatter on like a talk machine. Fashion doesn't mean a thing. He can't dance, but he sure can sing. He's one of a kind, that boy of mine. The world pulls at us from all sides, but he stands strong, listening inside. He likes love and honesty. He'll stand by you, he'll stand by me. He's one of a kind, that boy of mine. He'd give you his last dime. He works hard all the time. He likes deals and bartering. That's how he got my wedding ring. He can fix up our guitars, but not so much on a car. He's one of a kind, that boy of mine. The world pulls at us from all sides, but he stands strong, listening inside. He likes love and honesty. He'll stand by you, he'll stand by me. He's one of a kind, that boy of mine. He's one of a kind, that boy of mine. Oh, he's my rock, that boy of mine. Here he is in person. Thank you. Thank you.
I know there's many Santa Clauses sitting in the audience there.
You want to do the next one on the list?
Yeah, let's do good to be done.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm looking at the wrong list. Okay, yeah. So we mentioned earlier about that CD that we put out. It was all biographical ballads, and this woman, I heard about on the news. We're sitting home in Minneapolis, and I heard on the news that this woman was going to be flying up from Jacksonville, Florida, to donate a kidney to a little girl she had never met. She found her on Facebook, on the internet. She was just scrolling along one time and saw this picture of this little girl that was 2 years old and needed a kidney transplant. And she just decided to get tested, and it turned out to be a perfect match. And I thought, this light went out of my head. I thought, what a great song that would be if I could get a hold of this woman. So I kind of watched the story on the internet and saw that the operation went well and everything. And eventually I contacted her. I said, we're going to be down in Florida doing concerts because we travel all over. And we'd love to come and interview you and write a song if that's okay with you. And she said yes. So this is Christy Hart-Harding is her name, and she is like my hero now. And people ask sometimes how a full-grown woman is able to donate to a little kid. And it's because she's a small woman, so it's possible. She donated one of her kidneys, and I was just overwhelmed. So I was interviewing her, and I said, how do you get the courage to do something like that? What made you decide to do it? She said, well, when there's good to be done, you got to do it. You don't wait for somebody else to get to it. So I wrote that down, and that became the chorus and the title of her song. She even rhymed it. So it
Actually, when she first asked her, she was a little apprehensive. She'd have been on the national news for one cycle, and she didn't feel comfortable, She said, this is something that I did spontaneously, from my heart, and she wasn't that wild about being on these. She says, besides, if you write this song, do you think people will listen to it and donate organs to people that they never met? And we said, well, probably not, But she said, oh yeah, she said, maybe it'll remind people to check that little box on their driver's license.
The donor box.
The donor box. And when she said that, we were sitting there interviewing her, and I felt like a hero too, Because I know the first year they came out with that box, I checked it with no regard for my parts. But now, that was like so many years ago when they put that box on there. Now, I don't know. I've got this vision of myself dissected on a stainless steel
Oh,
table,
Curtis.
surrounded by doctors next to a dumpster, you know?
Oh, Jesus.
And they're chunking me over their shoulder. And I don't know. But I still check that box. You know?
I've talked to many nurses, and they say there's always something they can use. If nothing else, your corniness may
Yeah,
still
but
be
what,
good.
of course they would say that.
There's always something.
You like cutting people.
So this is a really, Christy named her own song. It's
Yeah, this
called,
lady's cool, man.
yes, she named her own song, and it's called When There's Good to Be Done. In a bright, sunny Florida home, Christy was online and she was there alone. A Minnesota girl caught her eye. Usually she'd stroll on by. Sick kids were too sad. Was it an angel that said don't pass? A young one smiled at her. I'm 2 years old and need a kidney donor. Dialysis since 7 weeks old. You might be my hero. Is your blood type O? Christy said yes and picked up the phone. And she said, when there's good to be done, you must do it. You can't wait for someone else to get to it. I knew it was God's plan, he'd see me through it. How could I say no when I could do it? She told her husband about the girl. If she was a Sarah, we would search the world. A battery of tests were begun up north for final ones. 6 months since that day, you're the perfect match, they called to say. She got back on that online page, sent a message to the mom, and she did say, I'm Christy, I'm honored to meet you. I have a 2-year-old too. I'm your girl's donor. And the mother could not find words. Christy said, when there's good to be done, you must do it. Can't wait for someone else to get to it. I knew it was God's plan to see me through it. How could I say no when I could do it? On a bright Minnesota day, Christy woke up and she was feeling pain. The very first thing she did say is, Ariana okay? She gave life that day, and the purest joy was Christy's pay. And she said, when there's good to be done, you must do it. You can't wait for someone else to get to it. I knew it was God's plan to see me through it. How could I say no when I could do it? When there's good to be done, we must do it. When there's good to be done, we must do it. When there's good to be done, we must do it. Christy Harding.
Christy Harding, yeah.
Thank you. She's my hero.
The rest of the story.
There is more to the story. Yeah.
So one time we're doing, it was intense. We were doing like 25 libraries in northern Minnesota, like in 2 weeks. And they lined them up. I mean, and one would be in International Falls and the next one would be in Duluth.
Kind of zigzagging around us.
I mean, we were bouncing around the northern part of the state, and it was dear romantic season. What was it? Yeah.
End of October.
Yeah, they were standing around sipping champagne on the side of the road, you know. But we stopped in Grand Marais and did a little radio show to promote these libraries and museums are the best place to play, I tell you. But to promote these shows, and you know, a few months later,
several months
played
later,
that song.
Yeah, we played that song, and several months later, the program director called me up and she said, "Remember that night you were here and played that song about the kidney donation? There was a man listening that night from Lutzen, and he was so inspired that he decided to donate a kidney to somebody. And he didn't know anybody that needed a kidney, so he called a hospital in the cities, and they matched him up with somebody in California who had somebody that was going to donate, but it didn't work out. So that person donated to someone else, and this guy from Lutzen donated to that person. It started this whole chain of donations. So we called up Christy and said, "Look what you did."
Yeah, we got to say, "Oh yeah," as a matter of fact.
You did inspire
The
people.
song did inspire somebody.
So and there may be other people she inspired. I don't know how you have the courage to do something like that. So
You know,
it's amazing.
We played it, you know, what's that place in New York?
Oh, United Nations. We played at the
United Nations.
We played at a book awards ceremony.
We played at Mall of America, but you know, that was, I think that's the coolest thing that ever happened.
That is, for sure.
You want to do your dance song?
No.
Let's do that.
All right.
And then we'll
See, we got this
we'll get out
list.
the ukulele as kind of the antidote for. This is such an important song. It really is. This is a song that Loretta wrote years and years ago.
It's an old
I think we heard it even has been used by some nursing college somewhere. You
I got a
know.
frog in my throat. Sorry. Excuse me. I'm getting all choked
Got
up.
some frog catchers here somewhere.
Fine. Oh.
But her dad, Loretta Simonet, was just, you know, he was just, oh God, talking about honest. I mean, and frugal, and he was just a prime example of that early 1900s born American gentleman. He truly was. It was an amazing generation of people. You know, they got us through, you know, World War II. They got us through, you know, the Depression. It goes on and on.
He was actually an adult during the Depression. He was born in 1908. A lot older than my mom.
So, you know, he was, but he became ill later in his life. And we didn't realize it until it became very obvious. And I know a lot of people have to deal with this. Loretta was very close to him, so she wrote the song, I think, for herself, really.
Well, it was kind of therapy because you'll see what it is as the song goes along, but it was so tough to deal with. I wrote this, I like therapy, so I could get through it.
Hey, you don't have a nap there or something, do you?
Yes, I do. Here.
I have made a puddle on this old Persian rug.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you?
This was so nice. We got here and Carolyn welcomed us in and said, "Well, we set up a little stage." We're like, "This is so nice."
She's so
This had to be a lot of work to set the
Everybody
stage
is so
up.
nice. I tell you.
It was very nice. We really want to thank you guys for having us. We stopped here many years ago and just thought it was such a neat place. And then when we got this grant, we thought this would be a great place if they would have us to do a concert. So we're so glad you welcomed us back.
Hey, there we
Did you
go.
just clean up the floor there?
I got it.
All right.
All right, so this is called Gone Forever. And, this is for Cletus and a lot of people.
Every night when summer was done, before we kids had a chance to run, my dad said, "Okay, we've got dishes to do. Mom cooked the food, we'll clean up crew." So he stood at the sink, he washed each one. The rest of us dried till they were all done. But now a disease works in his brain. He's forgotten those children who carried his name. One day as I vacuumed, he watched me then said, "You've done all the work, I've not done yet. up a dust rag and he worked with me. He was still an example for this kid to see. If I think of all the things that I've lost, I can simply not bear the thought I am gone forever from his memory. He cannot do things he once did for me. But I watch my dad and who he is now, played by Alzheimer's still somehow. Through the confusion his soul shines through. He says, come anytime, we love having you. At the end of the driveway, the old blue truck stopped for a moment, the kids to instruct. He pointed a long finger down the road, first to the east, then the west, as he told. To the left is Stillwater, to the right is St. Paul. He taught us directions when we were so small. Now I drive with Dad to the new Walmart. Once inside, he pushes the cart. I say, Dad, at the end of this aisle, turn right. But he just stops, his lips drawn tight. So I point for him, and we both turn that way. He says, I sure am lucky to be with you today. If I think of all the things that he's lost, I can simply not bear the thought I am gone forever from his memory. And I knew the things he once did for me. But I watch my dad and who he is now, played by Alzheimer's still somehow. Through the confusion his soul shines through. He says, come anytime, we love having you. He came to recitals, did he play piano? He came down to the basement to watch puppet shows. He drove to my college to see me in plays, 100 miles in the big Chevrolet. Do you have lots of bookings? He'd always say, you are so lucky I can sing for your pay. And now he doesn't know who I am. Maybe a relation, maybe a friend. I sit down at the piano and play over there. He sings along from his armchair. He says, where do you live, Vern? He claps for me. And then he keeps singing that wartime melody. If I think of all the things that we've lost, I can simply not bear the thought I am gone forever from his memory. And he cannot do things he once did for me. But I watch my dad and who he is now, played by Alzheimer's still somehow. Through the confusion his soul shines through. He says, come anytime, we love having you. He says, come anytime, we love having you. Thank you.
Well, we got time for 2 more songs, and we thank you very much for coming out tonight. Now, do we have any ukulele players in the audience?
Where's our ukesters?
Oh, see, if I was running for public office, my platform would be a ukulele in every mailbox. Oh yeah, that would be it. That'd get them. All right, I got one right here.
All right, I'll let you get your uke out and I'll get something else out. I have to say, my dad was still this perfect gentleman, even though he didn't know. He called me that lady that came by once a week or whenever and gave him rides. We'd go for a ride out in the country or go look at Christmas lights or something. Even though he didn't know who I was, he was so polite and sweet still. And he'd always say that when he left, he'd say, you come anytime, you come back again. I'm like, oh. And I would drive home to Minneapolis from Stillwater, just bawling my eyes out every time. And one time driving home, I thought, I really should appreciate the time I have left with him. He's not the same guy he was, but he is, in a way, he's still the same. So after that, it was a little easier to deal with.
I realize you gotta, take advantage of that time you have, with people.
Yeah, I hear people say, oh, I don't want to be around that person because they're not like they were anymore. But man, that's not how I felt at all. I wanted to be.
He was a great guy. If he had one candy bar and there was 4 people at the table, he would whip out his jackknife and cut it into 4 pieces.
Yeah, he wouldn't eat before everyone else did.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. I don't know what song to do on this. I mean, do we have any dog lovers here?
Oh, yeah.
Anybody like dogs?
We got a few.
Yeah.
Oh, a bunch.
Yeah, I hate to talk about the pandemic. There's so many different thoughts about the pandemic. But one thing I will say about the pandemic, pandemic, is dogs loved it. It's like, I don't know if you have a dog. I mean, but you come home, a dog's dream is to have their people come home and sit on the couch for 2 years. You know what I mean? It's like, nothing could be better than that.
Like your servant is there. Anything you need, your people are right there.
And I tell you, I mean, I don't know. Our little dog, we just passed away a couple of years ago after 14 years.
No, a couple of days ago.
A couple of days ago.
You said years.
After 14 years.
Yeah, our little dog died
Just a
Saturday.
little while ago, after
Yeah.
14 years, yeah.
Anyway.
So anyway.
But she had a
So
great
it's
time.
sad.
She had a great time during the pandemic. She sat on the couch
She
for
saw the
3
whole
days.
country. She was great. Anyway, so I've always kind of felt sorry for people that didn't have a pet, and sometimes in their life. And dogs are just they're just that kind of love's hard to find with people. So I wrote this song called "Get a Hound," and our little dog really helped us get through the pandemic. I do believe it's like having a little psychiatrist kind of. Get a hound, yeah. And you'll be staying home for about 2 years, when all your kids are all alone. Quick, get yourself to the shelter or a store and bring a dog back home. I feel sorry for those that don't have one, or maybe even 2. For everyone's life deserves true love, even politicians do. Love at first sight, unconditional love, companion brave and true. One is for life with a waggly tail, loyal and true. Well, maybe you can see, or hear, or taste, or have no sense of smell. Well, a dog can help you with these things, then save you when you fall into a well. Or maybe you need a security guard, or a nurse when you fall ill, or a psychiatrist there beside your own couch, and the dog will not send you a bill. Love at first sight, unconditional love, companions brave and true. One is for life with a waggly tail, loyal and true. Take it for a walk now. Well, there's dachshunds and Dalmatians, Chihuahuas and Great Danes, Scooby-Doo, Toto, and Snoopy. There are bulldogs for Churchill, and corgis for the Queen, and a lucky mongrel mutt that looks like me. From hundreds of breeds you can select, or a mongrel mutt or a mix. All the ladies will cry out cute when you take your walks in the bar. Yes, a dog can really help you pick up sticks. There's a lassie and a Benji and a Rin Tin Tin waiting for you at the pound. At the animal shelter or a good pet store, go get yourself a hound. Yeah. Go get yourself a hound.
Go get yourself a hound.
Go.
Get
A hound. Well, you're very kind. Not an egg has been thrown.
Oh, Carolyn, they were scanning people at the door. They took all the eggs and tomatoes away.
Yeah, tomatoes are too expensive. Well, actually, eggs are too. You know.
Who would throw those?
Yeah, but you know, in vaudeville, I mean, they threw eggs and tomatoes if they didn't like the act, and they would go on to the next act. You know, it was show business can be rough. But in Shakespearean times, they threw cabbages. That is historically true. They threw cabbages, and see how far the human race has come.
That's terrible. Terrible.
We'll end up with a song on the banjo here for you.
Well, thank you so much, everybody, and thanks for having us. Thank you to the venues. I say the venue for having us. It's like I want to say it's a museum, but it's also the historical center. It's all kinds of stuff. And we do have some CDs out there in the lobby if you want to take a look at those. And we have an email list if you want to sign. I'll let you know when we're going to be back in the area. And I don't give your email address to anybody, not even him.
Yeah, I've never sent an email.
Because he wouldn't know what to do with it. He doesn't know what it's for. So, seriously, he doesn't text or email.
Would you hand me that object over there on the edge of the stage?
Yeah, let me talk a little bit to him.
Well, okay. She has something else to say. Okay, you go first.
Okay. All right, so we got CDs out there. And also, yeah, if you could fill in the surveys, that would be great. There's a box out there on the table in the lobby to put those in. And this is part of our grant proposal that we have to evaluate how we did. And, you know, if you like the show, if there's anything you think we should have changed or anything, the Arts Board really loves to get evaluations and see what people's feedback was. So if you fill those in, that'd be great. And also, I have a little... I have a little tape recorder. I'm going to come around if anybody has comments. I'll just be out by the CDs. If you have any other comments, I'd love to get you on tape.
And we're happy to personalize your CDs too. I mean, you can get one from us for $10. You can go on eBay and you can get one for like $40 or $50.
We've seen them on there for us.
Yeah.
We don't put them on there.
Oh, well, I think, no, it's not us. I think they look at our picture and they go, these guys must be dead. So, must be worth something. You know?
It's crazy.
Okay.
We've seen old posters and stuff on there about this money. I don't know who's selling it.
It's really pretty hilarious. But anyway, this song is a call and answer, so you can't sing along with the song. It's an old-timey American ballad. And I got to warn you, a lot of these old American ballads from the 1800s, they deal with questionable issues. Sometimes, but they do it for a good reason, so that you funnel down to the end of the old ballad where some profound, oftentimes moral lesson may be passed on. And though this was written in the 1800s, I think even today, at this very time, that at least 50% of the people in the United States will agree with the message of this old song, which is, I should have listened to what my mama said.
That's right, you should listen. That's right, you should always listen to your mama. So thank you again to the Dassel Historical Society and Ergot Museum. Curtis was telling me what Ergot was. Did I pronounce it right? It's Ergot? Yeah.
I thought it was that Greek dude at first. What was his name?
Oedipus?
No. And the Ergot.
The Argonauts, Jason and the Argonauts.
Oh, yeah,
Has nothing to do with
Jason the Ergot. It's a Greek museum, but yeah.
But it's like some kind of mold, right, that they use for
Very
medical purposes. That's very,
They all
very cool.
know this.
It's very neat. I just found out today from him, so
This is called Hand Me Down My Walking Cane. Yeah, so sing along.
thank you.
Now hand me down
Hand me down
my walking cane.
my walking cane.
Hand me down
Hand me down
my walking cane.
my walking cane.
Well, hand me down my walking cane. I'm gonna ride that midnight train. All my sins are taken away. Oh, wrong. Hand me down
Hand me down
that jug of corn.
that jug of corn.
Now hand me down
Hand me down
that jug of corn.
that jug of corn.
Well, hand me down that jug of corn. We'll have time, sure as you're born. All my sins are taken away. I had too much,
I had too much
and I went to jail.
and I went to jail.
Well, I had too much,
Had too much
and I went to jail.
and I went to jail.
Well, I had too much, and I went to jail. Nobody came to hold my bail. All my sins are taken away. Well, the beans was
The
hard,
beans was hard
and the meat was fat.
and the meat was fat.
Well, the beans was hard,
The beans was hard
and the meat was
and
fat.
the meat was fat.
Well, the beans was hard, and the meat was fat. Lord, I couldn't eat nothing like that. All my sins are taken away. Well, I wish I'd listened.
I wish I'd listened
What Mama said.
what Mama said.
Well, if I'd listened.
If I'd listened
What Mama said.
what Mama said.
Well, if I did what Mama said, I'd be sleeping in a feather bed. All my sins are taken away. Here we go now. Hand me down
Hand me down
my walking cane.
my walking cane.
Hand me down
Hand me down
my walking cane.
my walking cane.
Well, hand me down my walking cane. I'm gonna ride that midnight train. All my sins are taken away. There they go. Well, all my
Sins are taken away.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks so much. That was great music.
Well, I remember to support this lovely, lovely, lovely thing here. This is really cool. You got going here.